just focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. Only you can do to yourself. Love yourself. Do everything that is possible to make yourself the best version of being a nurse, the best version of being a human being. Hello, everyone. I am Thankam Gomez, a nurse by profession, a single mother of one son who is 25 years old, software engineer, and my mother stays with me, and I have a 24 by 7 help, and she's my lifeline. So that's about me. And now I'm very happy to be here on this platform with LifeSigns. The word LifeSigns tells a lot of things, life and science. So in our entire life, we also get a lot of signs how to navigate our life. And I hope that whatever questions life science is going to ask me, it will inspire some of you out there, especially nurses, because right now where I'm standing, I'm trying to give back to my profession as much as possible. I'm now 64. So when I look back at my 64 years of life, the challenges which looked huge for me at that time, right now, I am grateful that those challenges came by me because now I realize those challenges were put across in my life to make me a better professional and make me a better human being. So, nevertheless, since you asked for the challenges, let me try to think what are my major challenges. Uh, the major challenges I would say were some of the milestones in my life. For example, I wanted to be a doctor and I could not become a doctor. So for me, it was like a big, challenging time for me to decide that should I go for the scholarship that I'm getting to be a doctor or should I stay back and become a nurse? Because I'm the eldest in the family. So we were 7 children. So I thought if Papa just supported me, probably I will become a doctor, but I'm not very sure how will he support the rest of the children. So I felt a moral responsibility to support my siblings. So I told my father, now next to doctor is nurse. That's all I knew. So I said, now I'll go for nurse. I didn't even know that nurses have to do, night duty. So night duty was another big challenge in my professional life because I never liked night duty. But I had been very lucky, I should say, in my entire career of being in the hospital. That's about 16 years in critical care, another 12 years in administration. Well, administration, they don't have night shift. But 16 years out of the entire lifespan of being in the critical care, I would say I must have done cumulative, maybe 8 months of night shift. Not a single night I loved, but I must say whatever happens, the moment I log in into my workplace, I'm just like that. I'm alive. Then I don't complain about being on night shift. When I finish again, I'm crying because I'll be sleeping throughout the day till the time it is we are ready for the night shift. Well, nursing profession is a very challenging profession. It's because we look after sick people and varied kinds of sick people from various background, various family members, their own stories. When you are, going in and out of those emotions, it can be pretty challenging on a daily basis. And when you're 22 years old, uh, you tend to get, affected by those stories, patient stories. But probably being a nurse and being there with those difficult patients gave me a lot of courage. So, as I told you, all the challenges in my life made me a better person. The other challenge that kind of looms large in my life is probably the decision to be a single parent. That's a personal thing. So, when my son was 2 years old, I decided that I see reasons are not important, but I thought that was the best decision at that particular point of time. But I did not know he's just 2 years old, and I know that I have to take care of him and make him a good human being. So that will take a good, 20 years plus. And I was not very, I didn't think too much about it. I only knew at this particular moment, I should take the best decision. And thank God that all the decisions I have taken had been blessed. And today, whatever I am, I owe a great lot to my profession, being a nurse, because that gave me everything that I have today. I can only tell that, I mean, otherwise I cannot think of, no, not that many challenges, because nursing profession is a challenging profession. But if you start enjoying what you're doing, then I think it does not become a challenge anymore. So being a single parent, my passion was to bring up my son the best way possible, and focusing on that, then trying to be the best nursing administrator, because that's the job I got. I was the first nursing head for Fortis Healthcare. So he was just 3 years old when I became the Fortis head. And since then, it's two things. One is profession and one is my personal life. I was able to kind of balance and manage. And thank God, my son has turned out to be a very, very balanced and rounded, and successful software engineer. So today, as I stand, I can only feel the emotion of gratitude. I cannot feel the emotion of challenge. But right now, when I look at my profession as a whole in the country, I can see a lot of challenges. I would say that this probably happened when I was a nursing student. So we were already assigned to the hospital, with patients. So everyone used to call me Chutki, because my hospital was in Delhi. And I was this 37 kgs and short, and everybody thought I'm a school kid. तो बोलते ये बच्ची कहाँ है, ये चुटकी किधर है, and so I will be looking after some patients. So I'll do my best, because I realize I'm good with people. And I realized that I can be very empathetic. No one need to train me into that. I just enjoyed bringing some relief to someone else, bring smile on someone else's face. The way I talk, the way I interact. It may be because I love to be on the stage all the time. So when I was that young, for me it was like a performance happening. You have people who are sick and you are going to look after them. You bring them smile, so you feel that you have done something special. So long, long, long time ago, I would say that when I was on leave for a couple of days, and so my child asked me कि क्या करके जाती हो, क्या जादू करके जाती हो अपने पेशेंट के ऊपर. मैंने कहा क्या हो गया सिस्टर, क्या जादू करके जाती हूँ. तो सब लोग पूछते रहते, वो छुटकी कहाँ गई, वो बच्ची कहाँ गई, छुटकी कहाँ गई. मैंने कहा हे, मेरे लिए पूछा. I said, oh. So I think that was the mantra. That day I realized so much you can get from other human beings. And I'm getting paid for that. I always tell young nurses, I don't think there is any other profession where you can serve others and get paid for it. So recently I was in one college. I said, all the IT people, all the CEOs and everyone, they will work Monday to Friday. Then they will write, oh, today we went to this charity, we did this, today we are doing this. And in our life, we don't have to step out anywhere. You just have to be nice, understanding, kind, empathetic to that one patient or two, three patients. If we practice that, at the end of the day, what we get is not something I can share with anyone. That is something that I have experienced. And I always tell the young nurses, experience it. Then you will know it is no more becoming a burden. Any nurse, if they focus on what needs to be done right now for this patient, rather than getting caught into what is not there. Many times, we are getting caught into what is not happening. So then what is not available to me, what is not happening. So my performance is going to be affected. So you keep thinking about why my performance is getting affected. So it is better to focus on how can I deliver the best performance, because it is a performance that you are doing with sick people, but only in this You have no retakes. You just do it once. And that's the only thing that you can do with the patient at that particular moment. So I would say that all challenges for me started looking smaller, when I started experiencing these blessings, when people say, patients say that you are fantastic. When the doctors say, oh, this girl is too smart. So it's all kinds of things that you're enjoying being in that profession. And the motivation in my entire life, it was different at different stages of life. The professional motivation was different. So right now, what is my motivation? Right now, that I'm in a stage where I want to give back to the profession as much as possible. That's the reason when you asked me for the interview, I said I will, because maybe one nurse or maybe two nurses will get inspired and say, I want to experience the same thing like you told, no? When I'm 64, I don't know what will I say. So I can only say that the only time we have got is right now, today, right now. What we make of it right now becomes our tomorrow. So we better make the best of today, right? What I'm saying is that maybe it is something to do with the current generation. My son is 25 years old. Okay. So I know that he behaves very differently from my brother, who is his mamo, who is like maybe another 20, he's 45, 47. So just almost double the age, So there is a difference the way my brother behaved when he was young and my son. So what I personally feel is the youngsters are not able to experience what they can experience the best. And I would be very candid and say that maybe they lack role models around them. I don't know, maybe people like you should start asking the youngsters that what is it that, is missing that you cannot experience the best of your profession. See, money is one thing. Okay. Money is not everything. I know that money is a lot of things that needs to be taken care. I point taken. But I always used to ask my young nurses that when you are with the patient, you're doing something, you're very busy, but with one patient, you will do one thing at a time. And that one time, why don't you decide to make a difference to another human being? And when you start doing it, you will start experiencing the benefit of it. It's very difficult for me to say, how will you experience? So there is a lot of science behind, proving that, if you're kind, you will live longer, you have good hormones, running in your bodies and you will be healthy. So nurses are put exactly in that, situation where you can decide to be kind and nice to somebody else. And plus in that, when you use your critical thinking, the knowledge, the training that you have had, you actually take decisions to make a difference between life and death to some patients. And that's a huge responsibility that is lying on these young shoulders. When I was 22, also, I was hugely aware, oh my God, this person's life is in my hand. It's a very big responsibility, and knowing that we are human beings, we can make mistake. So we need to become extra alert, and we need to learn the science of being attentive, the science of knowing all the human factors that can distract you. It's very important. So I also feel that maybe the current generation is not very self aware. They're very demanding, but they're not very self aware where they are, what they are doing, what can they get out of that. But maybe that is something that I had very clear in my life, because when I became a young nurse, I saw the most powerful the nurse around me was the nursing director in my hospital. So when I'm 22, I said I want to be that nursing director. Okay. So I started thinking to become that nursing director, what all I need. And I did not have the physical presence of a leader. As I told you, I was thin, I was short. So physically, I'm not built to be a leader. So I had to offset that with a lot of other things that I need to work upon. That's a lot of hard work. So I had to make sure that my personality is much taller than my physical height. And I worked on it. And I had this goal that I want to become the nursing director. The first thing I learned was that I need to become very good in English because people paid a lot of attention to those who can manage English very well. So I started investing in making my English better. Then, as I stepped into critical care, I realized that, my clinical acumen, my clinical reasoning, or my critical thinking, if they are in place, I can do the best for my patients. So I really enjoyed when doctors say they come and they see me as the, team leader. They'll come and say, "Oh, Thankam, thank God you're on duty, we can relax." So those are, indirect appreciations the clinicians are giving that you're good in your work and you can decide. And many times I used to joke with them also. I'll say, go and sleep. When you come back, no, whatever I tell, you have to agree to it that I have, we have done it together, right? So these are some realities of life. And then you start enjoying, communication. Then I learned, I did not know that how I will be as a leader. I had no idea. When I was 8 months experience, the same Holy Family Hospital where I did my nursing, they gave me the post of a ward in charge. 8 months, 8 months of experience. Today it is unheard of. Okay. But our upbringing was too good that, we were capable. So my nursing director said that you are going to be the in charge of this, 32 bedded ward, which also had a 6 bedded CCU also. It sounds very challenging, but that time I said, okay. I told Key sister, if you guide me, I will. And definitely they guided me. And but when you are just 20 between 20 22, it can go to your head also. So a lot of stories are there. If you ask me that on this nurses day, where we say our nurses our future, so I can only appeal to all sections of nurses, the nurses who are in academics. Please remember that we are grooming the nurses for tomorrow, the future. The healthcare is in their hands. So we just need to invest and become very creative so that they are patient ready by the time they come out of the college. To all the nurse leaders, we owe it to the next generation to groom them, to guide them, to mentor them, so they can be the right nurses who are proud nurses who are able to articulate and who are independent. They can practice to the top of their license. We need to facilitate that environment for the youngsters. Now, the last, all the young nurses and those who are going to become nurses soon, nursing students, I have only one advice. Just focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. Only you can do to yourself. Love yourself. Do everything that is possible to make yourself the best version of being a nurse, the best version of being a human being. And I'm sure after 40, 50 years, when you sit like this and give an interview, you'll have a lot to share for the next generation. So God bless you and wish you all a fantastic Nurses Day, and looking forward to a brighter future for nursing and nurses in India and across the world. Let's unite in our efforts wherever we are. It doesn't matter what role you are doing, where you are doing. Try to make a difference. Every time when you're with another nurse, another student, another colleague, another boss, let's try to make a difference to each other. Let's stay united and let's move forward as one force to make a difference to all the people who need our attention across the world. All the very best and stay blessed.